Traffic on I-90 shut down today after an RV caught fire inside a tunnel. We'll break down what happened.
Needed rain stays in the forecast, but it comes with cooler temperatures in the coming days.
That intersection from Monroe along Riverside is one of the most problematic intersections, I honestly think, in the whole state.
A busy night at Spokane City Council leads to changes at a downtown intersection and the relocation of an historic statue. Details tonight. Good evening and thank you for joining us for the KREM 2 Night Report. I'm Mark Hanrahan. First up tonight, traffic safety in downtown Spokane took center stage at tonight's council meeting. Members zeroed in on one intersection in particular and an historic statue that stood there for more than 100 years. KREM 2's Connor McAvoy shows us how both these elements are designed to help with public safety. Connor?
This all comes from Spokane City Council members all agreeing there needs to be safer walkways around busy areas near downtown. That's why the council passed two resolutions they say are designed to do just that. In a unanimous vote tonight, Spokane City Council members agreed to make a traffic change at a downtown Spokane intersection. At Monroe and Riverside, drivers will no longer be allowed to turn right on red, a change welcomed by Jordan Spooner.
I feel like it kind of slows traffic down because a lot of people aren't from here, you know, so like they don't really know it very well.
Council members agree. Paul Dillon says the intersection is uniquely dangerous compared to others.
That intersection from Monroe along Riverside is one of the most problematic intersections, I honestly think, in the whole state.
But council didn't stop there. City Council's passing more than one resolution regarding traffic safety here at Riverside Avenue, and one of those includes the relocation of one notable historical statue right there of John Monaghan. The Spokane Historical Society writes Monaghan was in the first graduating class at Gonzaga University and the first person in Washington State to attend the Naval Academy. He died while fighting in a battle just before the 20th century, and a statue of him's been at Riverside Avenue since 1906. However, some community members say it also perpetuates racism. The plaque below the statue refers to Samoan people as savage foes.
Several organizations I've been party with have discussed taking it down ourselves because of that offensive statement about Samoan people.
In another vote tonight, council decided to relocate the statue, not because of the words written on the plaque, but because they say its location poses a traffic safety concern since it's in the public right-of-way. As a result, the monument will be moved to Monaghan's descendants' mausoleum in Fairmount Memorial Park.
We acknowledge the shared history from different perspectives without erasing anyone's history.
But this decision had its opposition, including from council member Michael Cathcart.
For me, if you're going to do something of substantial like this, to move a monument that has been in place for over 100 years, you should actually have much more hearing and thoughtfulness around the process for that.
With both resolutions now passed, folks like Spooner hope Council President Betsy Wilkerson's words remain true, and while its place will change, its historical significance will live on.
I mean, I don't think they can get rid of it because that's history, you know. So, but I mean, like, I think it'd be cool. I don't know, you'll see a lot difference around here.
The resolution regarding the statue relocation passed 5-2. Council members Jonathan Bingle and Michael Cathcart voted against it. Connor McAvoy, KREM 2 News.
Connor, thank you very much. Washington is now the second state in the nation to crack down on dangerous driving with a new law targeting so-called super speeders. Governor Bob Ferguson signed the legislation today in Olympia. The new legislation allows what's called intelligence-assisted technology to be placed in vehicles to monitor the driver's speed and stop the vehicle from going over the local speed limit. The new laws for drivers with reckless driving records and are nearing the suspension of their licenses. With road construction season in full swing, we asked WashDOT how this will keep streets safer.
I don't think people realize how close our crews are working to the side of the road when people are going 60, 70 miles an hour. I mean, sometimes it's a foot, it's inches, and people going 60, 70 miles an hour, you know, if they're an inch to the right and they hit that work zone, that could be somebody's life.
Overton says the Washington Department of Transportation has seen more than 60 employee deaths related to roadway collisions. He says safe speed is essential. Well, caught on camera, eastbound I-90 is back open tonight over in Seattle after a motorhome caught fire in the middle of the Mount Baker Tunnel. It happened when a car and a motorhome collided. Cameras inside the tunnel showed a large fire and smoke billowing throughout the tunnel shortly after noon today. A person can be seen on video getting out of the RV and then reaching back, grabbing items, and then tossing them outside before fleeing the fire. Washington State Patrol says no one was hurt. That crash caused traffic backups for several hours today. All right, let's talk weather on this Monday evening. Want to get outside right now to Chief Meteorologist Jeremy the Goo. Jeremy, kind of a mixed bag today, and yesterday saw some rain. Are we going to see more rain throughout the week?
I think so. I think it's just one of those weeks where we're going to squeeze out every bit of moisture we can. It all comes down to our atmospheric pattern, and that's a good thing. We desperately need the moisture. Right now we sit at 52 degrees with a little bit of cloud cover and a few showers. That one down to the south fell apart quite quickly. Still a little bit of activity up in the atmosphere, a lot of that moisture not reaching the ground. But we are entering clear sky mode with the radar because things are clearing out. I think tomorrow morning we get a round of rain to wake up to. Not quite as widespread as what forecast models were saying earlier this morning. Not as widespread as they were saying this afternoon. And now they're even backing off a little bit more. I think a few scattered showers through the first half of the day, pretty likely. By the afternoon, most of that moves up into the mountains. Our next shot, that arrives Wednesday morning. So a couple of chances of rain. Right now, none of them are looking great, but temperatures trend a little bit cooler and we hang on to the mountain showers. So it's moisture. It's not widespread, but it's needed, and some of us will see it.
That sounds good, Jeremy. We'll check back in with you later in the show. Cheers erupting in Tel Aviv's Hostage Square as crowds gather to watch the handover of the last American held by Hamas just hours ago. Israeli-American Edon Alexander was raised in New Jersey. He was serving with Israel's military when Hamas fighters abducted him in the October 7th attacks more than 19 months ago. A Hamas spokesman said they freed Alexander after several days of talks with the U.S. as part of efforts to achieve a ceasefire. It is not clear tonight yet what concessions the Trump administration made to get him home. President Donald Trump is touting a temporary trade deal with China, even as the toughest part of the negotiations are still ahead. Under the agreement, the U.S. will lower its 145% tariff on Chinese goods to 30%. The retaliatory tariff China imposed on the U.S. will then come down to 10% for 90 days while those talks continue. Ongoing negotiations are expected to address the U.S.'s nearly $300 billion trade deficit with China and fentanyl. The federal criminal trial of Sean Diddy Combs officially underway now. The disgraced music mogul stands accused of 5 counts, including racketeering and sex trafficking. The criminal trial will highlight claims made by 4 women, including Combs' ex-girlfriend, singer Cassidy Ventura, and 3 who will testify anonymously. The 55-year-old is being held without bail and could face life in prison if convicted on all counts. The trial is expected to last 8 to 10 weeks. All right, coming up next on KREM 2 News tonight, we are learning more about the arrest of a man suspected of murder in Montana. How authorities tracked him down in Coeur d'Alene in 90 seconds. And later, evacuations in Minnesota tonight for a growing wildfire. What we know coming up.